Hey, what's up, Jacob? Gotta fix my filter. I had my leveling filter on, which was no filter. Hey, what's up, Dragon? How you doing, man? Hell yeah, Dragon. How's it going? And what are you playing in the campaign? Is this game free? Not yet, Dylan. When it goes into like 1.0, it'll be free to play, but right now it's in early access and you have to pay to enter it. It will be free to play one day, though. They said this year it's gonna release, so... Oh, you're the DM? Hell yeah, so you play everything. Yep, I wanted to start the stream earlier today. I wanted to, just stream a few hours before the podcast, but here we are, a little bit later than I wanted to start. 2 hours until the podcast, though, so we're just gonna, as you can see, I have a bunch of splinters. We're clearly not gonna get through all the splinters in that stream time, but we got a lot of simulacrums to farm. I wanted to get the video guide out this morning for the Shaman, but I just didn't have time to edit it. It'll be out tomorrow morning before the private league starts. Hey, what's up, Thick Bricky? Yeah, this is the tankiest I've had Thorns yet. For sure. It's not purely unkillable, but it's the closest you can get, I think, while using 2 low-level uniques, so... I mean, Chernobog's not as good anymore. Chernobog is pretty bad now. Ever since they changed the block cap to 50%, Chernobog lost a lot of its value. It's a lot harder to get to 50% block value too, like in comparison, because they changed the curve a bit. So like hitting 50% block is like a lot of investment to even get like the 50% block, and you're not having the full 75% plus block value that you had before. A rare shield will give you more armor and more defenses, and ultimately just be better. Like, if you wanted to use Chernobog, sure you could, but it's not. It's not good like it used to be. These are the Shaman defense nodes that make it really crazy, yeah. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 different, like, defensive layers and techs I'm doing right now. So, like, all of them add up, but, like, it's a combination of, like, everything that Shaman's doing. Like, the Shaman gives you 120 Spirit. That Spirit is both increasing my defenses and damage. The runes here, the Bonded Runes, they give you more Thorns damage, which is obviously more DPS, but because one of our biggest defensive layers is Leech, the more damage you do, the more you're leeching, the harder you are to kill. And then, yeah, it's the Adept stuff is just busted as fuck. And then I've got, like, Sacrifice of Flesh going, which is, like, damage prevention. We got a little bit of recoup. We got armor stacking going on. We got Molten Being for another 5% of physical damage taken as fire. We got some damage taken from Mana Before Life going on. There's, like, a lot going on that's making this extra tanky, but a lot of what's making this level of investment possible in the tankiness is Shaman, so... I don't know. I don't take gifts. I don't want anyone to, like, as a build creator, there's, like, I don't want anyone to ever be like, Cal's builds aren't authentic because he takes handouts from viewers. Yeah, there's a Mobalytics. The video guide will be out in the morning, but I already have the Mobalytics kind of done. It's not 100% done, but it's... I would say 95% done. Hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing, man? You're almost at AFK level? Hell yeah. By the way, for the private league tomorrow, I haven't announced it in the Discord, but I have a Thorns bounty. So if anyone's playing Thorns in the private league, you have a chance to win $30. A $30 Steam gift card. Have you decided your league starter for tomorrow? I have. I'm going to be doing a Witch Hunter. Is suffering? I'm going to be doing a Witch Hunter. I'm going to be talking about it on the podcast, because on the podcast we're all going to be talking about what builds we're playing in the private league. There is one of those, what are they called? These things? Undying Hates. Yes, an instacker. Absolutely, Bricky. You knew where I was going with it. Yeah, I'm going to be doing Culling Strike Witch Hunter. So I'm going to be doing similar to my Bulletstorm, but I'm going to do it with Spark. And int stacking. There's the, what are these called? Why do I always forget their names? Undying Hate Timeless Jewel. There's one that gives you, it's like called Black Knight something or whatever. And it converts your intellect into evasion. So I'm going to be doing an int stacking Witch Hunter, converting that int into evasion to get a Giga Sorcery Ward. And then I'm going to use Hyri's Ire with it, because Hyri's Ire doubles your evasion if you haven't been hit recently. So I'm hoping I can just... We'll have to solve, like, the mana cost problems, because when you have your int convert to mana, you're not going to have very high int, so we're probably going to have to do, like, Bow Pact or something like that. It's going to be a really weird build, but I'm going to be doing an int stacking, Culling Strike, Spark, Lightning Warp, Witch Hunter. Last event builds are cool, but I don't know. They're not really for me. What skill do you think you're doing? It'll be Spark. It'll be like Spark, Arc. It'll be a standard, like, you know, Lightning caster build. Lightning Warp for bosses with Ball Lightning. Maybe cast on shenanigans at some point, but it's going to be like, you know how my Bullet Storm build was just covering the screen in projectiles and instantly culling everything? I'm going to try and do the same thing with Spark. And then, or Arc, you know, whichever one it feels better with. I leveled a character to 42 last night in solo Self-Found on a Witch Hunter. Oh, am I dead? Oh, I got so many stacks of Corrupted Blood there, that was funny. I forgot I need to set up the Corrupted Blood immunity for AFK Simulacrum. So let's just do that now. Yeah, we'll just anoint this right now. If I'm gonna be yapping that hard. And AFKing, it's just gonna keep randomly killing me. It's only happened twice now where I've died to Corrupted Blood, but we don't need our anoint. Isolation. How many divine or isolations right now? 6, 5. Okay.
All right, your order is registered.
What was the green and orange? Oh, I don't have any because I dumped because I wanted to track what I was getting from this farm.
I'll post it right away.
Okay, we won't die to Corrupted Blood again. I'll need to update the mobile index for the AFK Simu to get the immunity to Corrupted Blood. Or you're just randomly gonna die to those guys' axes spamming you to 10 Corrupted Blood. It's not a problem. You won't die to Corrupted Blood if you're not AFKing. It's only needed if you're doing the AFK stuff, so. Poop. Poop. Okay. Alright, now we won't die to Corrupted Blood again. We can officially full AFK with no fear. Yeah, Thorns is OP, Zill. Thorns is OP. When you get it online, it just very casually does all content. I doubt I'll use the Brotherhood thing. But yeah, I've been wanting to do a Giga Sorcery Ward All League with that Black Knight thing or whatever, so int stacking Witch Hunter it is. I've complained about the Thorns unique so many times. There's no logic to half of them. To any of them, really. Yeah, I won't take the shield almost last one, but you can link it to me. I want to see what it looks like, but I won't take it. I appreciate it, though. Oh yeah, that's sick. That's fucking insane. Yep. That is the definition of a mirror tier Thorn Shield. Like, I don't think you would want anything else. Like, that's just, I don't think you will ever see a Thorn Shield better than this. Period. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But no, that is a slippery slope. Maybe one day you'll see me doing that stuff, but... feels better when you earn it yourself, you know? Yeah, that's an insane craft. That is an insane craft. Like, if this was like a popular league for Thorns, like if you had this shield in 1.0, like on League launch, I imagine Thorns will be like with the free-to-play stuff. Like, with it going free-to-play, like, I plan on, like, doing a bunch of, like, newbie-friendly Thorn stuff. If you had a shield like this on League launch, that would be, like, a multi-mirror shield, like, easily. If, like, Thorn was popular at the time. Like, that is absolutely perfect. Hell yeah, Gradzil. You itemize around that shield, sir. You itemize around that. You make that the centerpiece of your build, and you won't be dying to chaos, you won't be dying to anything. How hard was it for you to craft? Did you, like, were you playing with it? Or did you just, like, accidentally make it? Yeah, you don't want to play Thorns, like... if you don't have, like, Thorns gear and the Thorn supports, you don't start Thorns until, like, level 30. You don't want to play Thorns without the support gems, without good gear. It'll be really slow without it. You can do it, but it'll be just insanely slow. No, just, like, learn new crafts. Costs around 300 divine to make. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I want to learn crafting. Like, this league was the first league I started, like, dabbling in crafting. And I just been learning to craft on bases, and I just like, blue bases, right? But yeah, I want to be able to get to the point where I can do something like that. That is an insane craft, man. Like, if you were to ping that to me on a league where I had, like, league started Thorns and, like, I was going all in on Thorns, and not this league where, like, you know, I'm just build fevering, I would have, like, paid you so much for that shield. Did you try Arbiter and Jet Tier 3? Yeah, I did everything but Uber Arbiter. I did everything but Uber Arbiter. I've been responding to YouTube chat twice. I've responded to you like 3 or 4 times, personal. I just said don't play Thorns until you're level 30 and you have all the gear and support gems for it. You can't half-ass Thorns. You won't have a good time. You will not have a good time if you half-ass Thorns. I mean, it won't be a bad time, but... I'm unbreakable. Oh, it might be breakable. We were almost breakable there. Will you hit me, fool? That guy's a bitch. Some of his attacks don't proc Thorns. Do you know what you're playing in the private league tomorrow, almost? Hey, what's up, Valdez? You about broken there? Yeah, that was almost a broken moment, Minosuke. That was almost a broken moment. We almost cracked. Well, there were cracks there. We almost shattered. Double boss still a little bit scary, it seems. We'll need to get a little bit tankier to full AFK double boss without fear. Or maybe more damage would help. If they died a little bit sooner, you know? Maybe minion mill, not 100% sure? Cool. I am going Spark Witch Hunter. I'm going to do a Culling Strike Spark build. Lightning Coil, well, not Lightning Coil, Lightning Warp and Ball Lightning for bosses or something. Maybe Arc instead of Spark. I'm not sure. Just something that's good for Culling Strike and in-stacking. Hype for the product cast? Yeah, me too. I'm very excited for it. Will Thorns gear be expensive on second wind? I have no idea. It hasn't been announced yet, but podcast is today. Yeah, I'm streaming until the podcast, and then I'm going to host Miso. And then we'll go straight into the podcast. I ate all those Chaos Seeds. But yeah, I have no idea. Sorry, I got distracted. I have no idea if Thorns gear will be expensive in the private league or not. I have no idea what the cost of anything is going to be in general. It might be super cheap. It might be expensive. I don't know. It hasn't been announced yet, but I got Mobalytics to sponsor a Thorns bounty. So there will be a Thorns bounty, which will, like, at least some people are probably going to want to go and try and win the money, I assume, and win the bounty. So I don't know if it'll make the gear expensive, but it'll at least, me making the bounty, people are going to be like, oh, there's a Thorns bounty. I'm going to sell Thorns gear. So I don't know how expensive or cheap Thorns gear will be. Probably, like, fine. I don't know. But there's going to be a Thorns bounty, so hopefully people are like, oh yeah, Thorns Bounty, I should sell Thorns gear to people. So for anyone that's playing it in the private league. And my Shaman's video guide will be out tomorrow or tonight. Not bad. I'm already level 38 with the build, and I wondered when I leveled up, I saw the... I mean, if you have the currency, you can upgrade your gear. You just, like, you should be able to coast through the campaign with enough tithings in your gear. But yeah, and if you're struggling with, damage, though, start trying to armor break. Get scavenge plating stacks. Level up your scavenge plating and break armor. That's the first thing you need to try doing. Is if your damage is feeling low, start working on scavenge plating stacks at all times. Let's see how much this diamond is. I'm not constantly taking dot damage, no. I don't know if it's constantly... I mean, I don't know. I'm not taking dot damage. It's... I have the Undying Hate of a Mamanamu that gives me Sacrifice of Flesh. When taking damage from hits, 20% of life loss is prevented, then 150% of the life loss prevented this way is lost over 4 seconds. Like, I don't think it's dot damage. This is just, like, a weird recoup mechanic. I have no idea, though. I fucking know. Let me look at the diamond. Focus brain. So we got exposed to the infernal. Damage penetrates fire resistance. Increased duration of ailments against enemies with exposure. And woodland pact. Charms applied to you. Okay, so this is dog shit. This might be like a divine. There's actually one of these on trade already, too, for 8 divine. So exposed to the infernal is 1 divine. And woodland aspect is 1 divine. I'm gonna list it for 2 divine. I'm gonna list it for 2 divine.
Seems like a good deal. Hey.
Quickly. Indeed.
Well, I'm about to AFK for, like... I've got, like, 200 divine right now, whenever I, like... Because Silly Lily has my, one of my Ulna tolls. Whenever I sell that for, like, 100 plus divine, I have, like, over 200 divine. And I'm about to, like, AFK from this league for at least a week. So... You know, I don't know. I'm not too concerned about making money. My in-game name is Cal Thorn Guy. There's a bunch of nonsense in my shop. I don't know how to price shit. Most of it's probably really bad shit that's overpriced. I mean, I would just have to see, like... That's all cool in theory, heal route, but I need to see how it performs versus tier 3 bosses before, you know... All the cool stuff you're talking about is cool, but I need to see what it looks like versus tier 3's Jet, you know? All that stuff works versus, you know, chill Waystone map bosses, but, you know... I want to see what it looks like versus, you know, a Pinnacle boss, and a hard Pinnacle boss. But right now, I just don't have... I'm max skill slots right now, so... I don't have room for anything. What music is this? It's a lo-fi PoE 2 soundtrack. I mean, I know anyone can do the Mark Tech. I don't have room for a weapon swap right now. My completely skill slotted up. Yeah, GGG tweeted out like a lo-fi PoE 2 soundtrack not long ago. And it's like an hour-long track on YouTube that I just loop. How much do you think it overall costs? I mean, most of the cost is in, like, Uhtred's Omen. This is like 100-something divine. And then Delia's Desire. Like, neither of these are needed. In terms of gear, this is like probably like 30 divine, maybe 40 divine. Like the gear itself was cheap when I bought it. I don't know what like 3 socket crowns are or like high move speed briar patches are at this point. But I want to say like the gear itself was only 30 to 40 divine. Most of the cost is in like all of the jewels. Like I think the Undying Hate is like 9 divine. My Heart of the Well was like, I mean, I'm sure this one's probably way more expensive now, but it was like 10 divine when I got it. From Nothing for Resonance, I don't think it's expensive. It's 5 divine. So yeah, yes, it is. And then I got Scavenge Plating for, which is 100 divine now. It wasn't 100 by one. There's no way Scavenge Plating plus 3 is 100 divine right now. That's crazy. There was like 10 of these at 20 divine 2 days ago. There were so many of these at like 20 divine 2 days ago. That sucks. So I guess there's a lot more cost that I have now at this point if you're trying to get to where I'm at. We're looking at like, that's like what, 250 divine in jewels? If you include jewels and support gems with Uhtred's Omen and Delia's Desire. Oh yeah, a heal root. I'm excited to see it. I mean, it definitely sounds pretty beef. You got a lot of armor and shit. But I just need to see your boss kill times. It's one thing to be tanky, but, you know. Are you actually killing fast? Are you able to do 10 million damage and, like, you know, I think my kills are less than a minute right now on the Shaman. Where your average Thorns build takes 3 to 4 minions. Obviously, you won't have the damage I'll have because you don't have the Prism of Belief and stuff, but... yeah, just eat Chaos Seeds, no problem. What up? What is up? Where are the isolations at? What's your crit multiplier? It's gonna be lower than it just was because I just unanointed. Oops, I just unanointed Throat Seeker, so I'm missing 60% increased critical damage bonus. So I'm at 305% right now. But this is my AFK Simulacrum setup, so my bossing setup is different passive tree, different gear. I'd say I'm closer to 400% crit damage bonus in my DPS bossing setup. But this one's like more tanky for trying to AFK Simulacrum right now. Crit Thorns is the only way you play Thorns.
You can't get rid of the Exile.
And I currently have, I think, a 100% crit hit chance.
Nothing you do matters. The dream will end, and the dreamer will pass into the next world.
Rax is a good build maker. We have Rax coming on the podcast this Monday, by the way. We have Prada today, and then we have Rax Monday. So we got three back-to-back awesome episodes. We got frickin' Ziggy into Prada into Rax. Pretty cool. Yeah. It's the podcast year is starting off good. With hopefully more great guests to come. A bunch of people we obviously still want to get on. We want to get Farmer back on too. So how are you dealing with the reduced recovery, suppressed recovery, and armor break mods that are in rare enemies in Simi Plus? Just the exact same way I'm dealing with it here. I stand there and I eat it. There's the Mobalytics brain. Well, it'll be posted in a second. There it is. I'll have the video guide out tomorrow. There's no video guide, and the leveling guide will be updated with a low-level leveling guide as well. Not a low-level, excuse me, a cheap budget leveling guide, because if people can't afford tithings, or they're trying to play Thorns for the private league, I'm going to make sure there's a section that's like, if you're playing this on a fresh start with, like, no currency, this is what you need to be doing. See, here's reduced recovery. Ooh, died to bosses, though. The double boss spawn! Not tanky enough for the double boss spawn yet with reduced recovery. I think I need a little bit more damage taken from Mana Before Life.
Come check out what came in.
Let's try swapping. I think I can actually remove crit hit chance mods now because I swapped off of Throat Seeker, which was reducing my crit. So I think if I take those 2 points out, I'm still at 100%. Yeah, so Is there other crit hit chance stuff I can take out? I think I can take out these crit hit chance stuff too, right? Okay. That one I still potentially might need. Let's see if I can put points in. Actually, I should just keep that one. Or I could change a Takatai to a crit hit chance rune. I should do that. Let's get ourselves a little bit tankier so we can live through that. Try to perfect. No, it's. Yeah, it was right. Try and make this not die to that. Okay, so that puts a crit up to 100% that way. Now we remove those two nodes, still 100%. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that gets us those 2 points there, a little tankier there. Where should I increase my defenses? More life would definitely help. Yep, you can change the augments and corrupted items. I could get more armor here for consuming current endurance charges, and then more armor here when I've been hit recently. But do I want more max life instead? I think I might just get more max life instead. Maybe I go here, get Blade Catcher for the 15% strength. Or plus 15 strength, and then the extra armor versus critical hits. Because that double dips with Brass Dome. I already have the 8 plus 25. Or I could go for Unbending. Which that put me up to 2783. 38, I mean. Yeah, I could remove Goring too. We could try removing Goring for the AFK Simulacrum, because Goring's for like bursting down bosses. Like this was like for my Uber Arbiter kill yesterday, so we probably don't need Goring. What the hell? Okay, so that got us up to 2811. I don't think Behemoth is worth going for. Do I want more armor or more life from here? Is there any other points I should save off? Like, part of me wants to, like... I don't want to get my crit damage bonus too low. Of course, already down the 290. We might ultimately end up dropping this and going back for something else, but I could go for more block chance, but no, block wouldn't really help. It wouldn't help with the like that death right there. I don't think I want more life, so we'll probably just do the armor stuff. So we're not near anything over here. No armor EV conversion from this spot. Probably don't need the life leech. I thought about Prism Guard, but I don't think I need it. I've already got like such a high armor with elemental conversion that it's fine. But that's not like an awful choice, but like you'd have to path 3 to get there. I think you just take the either the armor when hit recently or the armor when consuming an endurance charge. Or just more life. You know, you take 16 points right here. Or you get more armor when hit recently. Or more armor when endurance charging. I don't know if we need both of these points. In the mana taken from damage for real life. That might have been an overreaction, but we'll try it. Well, we just like gained 200 life, some more armor. We lost a little bit of chaos res, but chaos isn't really that big of a threat in Simu 3. So in terms of AFK Simu, this should be fine. I mean, like, get more life, get more armor. Like, I have no idea, Bobby. You'd have to, like, get more defenses if you're dying. I don't know. You don't have as much life as me. You don't have as much armor as me. You don't have as much damage as me. Part of why you're so tanky as Thorns is because you're doing so much damage with Thorns crits. And all that's leeching, you know? But I still die every, you know, so often. You know, sometimes you get bad combinations. I literally just died and had to re-optimize to try and not die again. Thorns has to use 2 shitty low-level uniques, so no matter what. You know, it's hard to get Giga Tank. It's like pure unkillable. What's the purpose of La Viaga? Is because I have damage taken from mana before life. I'm constantly, like, losing mana, right? And then, like, that just essentially makes my mana a second life pool. And La Vianga's is constantly healing that life pool.
This is only the beginning.
Sorry, young. Such is the PoE life. But yeah, no, I'm pretty beef right now. I'm 2,800 life. Buttload of armor in combat. And I'm still dying, so. But that's Thorns. This is a bit tankier, though. I just made myself a lot tankier. How often are you pressing your life flask? Right now, never. I'm trying not to do anything. I'm completely hand-free right now. Like, I'm doing AFK as much as possible. How much is the Orloff flask running these days? A lot, but I'm not using it right now because of that. I am not using the Orloff flask. I can afford it, though. I probably should go buy it, but... You see how I'm constantly out of mana right now? It's because I'm just taking so much damage that, you know, my mana's getting drained from the damage taken from Mana Before Life, but La Vianga is constantly restoring that mana for me, so it just... If you're actively playing, you're not better off using La Viangas. You don't want to use it, because you're going to find moments where you're, like, mana siphoned, and you need to use the burst of a mana flask to be able to get Rapid Assault off or something, but since it's pure... I'm trying to do a pure AFK setup right now. It's just, you know... It's actually an extra heal for the second life pool. What time is it? Okay, got a little over an hour until the podcast. Dead? Oof. Okay. So that Chaos Res loss is definitely hurting. So we need to fix that then. So that was not a good change. I thought we would have been fine with the lower Chaos Res, but we're not. We can't take the Chaos Seeds without that Chaos Res there. So that is a trade-off we can't do.
Order is registered.
Do I want to put it in here so I get extra Chaos Res? I think so. I think so. Alright. That just will never happen again then. We have slightly less damage, but... it's very slightly less damage. Yeah, it's funny how going from 65 to 55 made Chaos Seeds. I wasn't even at this high of a Chaos Res before. I was only at 65 before. But going from like 65 to 53 or whatever made Chaos Seeds do 0 damage to like half my life. And it didn't help that those Chaos Seeds hit when there was nothing hitting me for Leech. So, like, the first one hit, and I didn't heal up at all, and the second one hit, and I didn't heal up at all. But now with 71% Chaos Res, I won't die to Chaos ever again in here. Because Chaos was doing basically 0 damage to me before, and now I've just gotten my Chaos Res higher, so... Hey, what's up, Protag? I mean, yeah, hitting res cap is insane. Like, even, like, you know, the 1% you lose from 74 to 75 is, you know... it's not nothing. And that's why, like, every percent over cap is so good, too. I don't know if we're ever getting a damage recap. I don't think GGG wants one. Like, overcapping resistance is if you have, like, maximum resistance increase is what I meant. So, like, going up to, like, above 80% and shit. Like, basically what 0.2, Smiths were doing, you know? Going up to 85 all res was just making them ungodly unkillable. Hey, what's up, Guitar? I am so hyped for tomorrow. I'm one of those guys like that plays MMOs that does like every fresh start server, and I just love fresh starts and like everyone playing all at once, and like I'm getting those jitters again. Like I'm just very hyped for the league tomorrow. I already know what I'm playing. I'm gonna be doing an int stacking Coaling Strike Winch Hunter.
Let yourself be
Gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm super excited. Hey, what's up, Arthur? How you doing, man? So that's what I was gonna like update you after after show. I don't think we'd do that, the leveling thing. It would just be go kill Jamin Ra with a Thorn set, pretty much, and like that's what it'd have to be. We wouldn't be able to force anyone to level as it. It'd be yeah. Yeah, I mean the Uber version's probably fine. I just didn't know how hard the challenges should be. That's why I was like hesitant on Uber or not Uber. Is I just didn't know if it like because getting Uber Arbiters, you're not Uber Arbiter. Uber Citadels is obviously harder than, you know, normal ones, so but if there's a my concern was like, could people get Thorns gear good enough to do the Uber Citadels? But if there's a Thorns bounty, it doesn't matter if how many people are playing Thorns. Once people see there's a Thorns bounty, in my head, I assume people are gonna be like, oh, there's a Thorns bounty, so that means I should start selling Thorns gear. So people should be listing Thorns gear for people once there's a Thorns bounty. So I'm like not super concerned about it being hard. I'm not personally gonna play Thorns, but hopefully people will like get incentivized to like at least sell the Thorns gear to people. Okay, so cool. Yeah, I don't know enough about private leagues to like know if that was how it would play out, but if you think that would work out, then yeah. I saw the guy that dies one. I wish I was good at speedrunning because I would love to, like, I love those kind of challenges, you know. Yeah, that one looks really cool. The guy that dies is awesome. Yeah, just throwing down the hammer, man. What a beast. You want my fucking $1,000? You're not gonna have it because I am winning my own challenge. And committing to leveling to 100 in a private league is awesome. Like, when I read that this morning, I was like, this guy's the biggest Chad in the scene. There's no one cooler than this dude. Okay, cool. So it sounds like we're on the same page then. So yeah. No needing to level and Uber Jamin Ra. I'll get a clip today and like unlist it as like a short, as like a small video and like attach it to the post or something that's like, this is what I mean, showing the exact skill from Jamin Ra. I'll get a clip for that as well. Crimson is the guy that casted the Angormus speedrun, right? We talked about him on the podcast with Ziggy D. Alright, cool, Guitar. Thanks, man. Yeah, I like Crimson. I used to be a StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm commentator. I used to do, like, MLG, Dream Hacks, stuff like that. And, I've always had like a very soft spot in my heart for analytical commentators that like aren't just well spoken, but like they're good at educating. I don't have any freaking chat commands, but they're just good at educating people who aren't don't know the vernacular to the game. They're like, they speak to not just noobs to the game, but people who are like potentially watching for the first time. That was always something very difficult to do as an esports commentator. And I think he's like, you know, S tier in terms of commentary skills. And he's funny, so that also helps too. But I love, like, just, he's not just, like, you know, a good commentator, but he knows the speedrun shit so well. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that. Thank you. I'll get chat commands set up by my stream tomorrow and stuff, too, so. Because I'll be streaming the private league. Yeah, like, yeah, he's just, yeah, the lore drops and everything. Like, he's masterclass. I used to play Heroes of the Storm. Kael'thas was my favorite. I like Kael'thas. I was more of a specialist main. I played characters like Asmodan, Nazebo and stuff, Abathur. I used to be, like, the manager and coach of, like, Tempo Storm for Heroes of the Storm, and then I used to do a bunch of, like, commentary and, I used to do like MLG, IEMs, dream hacks and stuff. I was super into Heroes of the Storm and StarCraft for a very long time. Love me some Li Ming. Okay, new message pinned. Are you a celebrity in the gaming world? No. And I use a different handle now than I used to use back in the Heroes of the Storm days. I used to go by Zoya back then, and now I go, like, this whole YouTuber Cal Torak thing was all like an accident that wasn't supposed to happen, and like, most people don't even know I'm the same guy from back then, because I also used to weigh 330 pounds. So, like, you can't even recognize me. Like, we've unironically had people on the podcast comment, this guy reminds me of someone from the old Heroes of the Storm days. Just because I look different and then I have a different name. But Heroes of the Storm was a very small esports, so being known in that game, and I was like a commentator, so it's not like I was a pro player or anything. Definitely no celeb. Well, we keep getting sufferings, which is nice. I think those are like 1 divine each. How did you do it? What do you mean? Like, commentating? We just, like, you know, we used to host tournaments and stuff all the time. We used to host LAN events, we would host online events, we'd get flown out to DreamHacks and BlizzCons and stuff, like... This is scary. I think we're fine. Oh, go down from 300 pounds? Oh, I mean, it was a long journey. You know, mental health is half the battle. You know, part of it was not realizing how just, like, mentally unhealthy I was and how depressed I was at the time. I mean, if you're gonna get over 300 pounds, you know. And then getting diagnosed with Asperger's helped a lot. You know, having understanding of why your brain ticks the way it ticks makes things easier. And then it was just trial and error. I had to find a weight loss thing that worked for me. The first thing that I tried was keto, and it would get me to lose weight, but I would just bounce back. But like the first time I did keto, I went from like 330 to 280. And the second time I did keto, I went from 280 to like 240. And then I was stuck at like 240 for like 3 years. And then I did intermittent fasting about a year ago. And I started doing that for like 3 to 4 months. And then it started to make me sick. So I stopped doing intermittent fasting, but I went down from like 240 to 180 when I started doing intermittent fasting. And now I like float between 180 and 200. But whenever I lost enough weight, I was able to start like... I'm surprised I didn't die there, by the way. But whenever I lost enough weight, I was able to start working out again. Or not working out again, just working out for the first time in my life, really. And that helped a lot. But then I injured my leg. Haven't been able to work out for like 3 months. Yeah. I don't know. It was just, it was a long journey. Still got more weight to lose, but definitely proud of myself, that's for sure. I need to get more armor for sure. Maybe from Amulet. And I might need to do some evasion conversion stuff. What's going to be your first build in the private league? I'm going to do a Culling Strike Witch Hunter. I'm going to do an int-stacking Culling Strike Witch Hunter. Is Culling Strike better? Well, I'm going to be doing int stacking, so I'm going to be using a spell. I don't think you'd use Constricting Command in, like, a Spark build. How many divs do you have invested into this build? Well, for me, it was a lot cheaper. But when we looked at a lot of the prices for stuff today, the rate I bought them at is, like, a lot higher. Like, I bought the Prism of Belief for Scavenge Plating for 20 Divine. They're at 100 Divine right now. So it's like, you know, for me, I'm at like 150 Divines, mostly in like jewels and support gems. But to get to what I have now, it's a little bit more expensive. Mainly because of the Scavenge Plating +3 change, though. That going from 20 to 100 Divines is a big jump. But no, I've been wanting to do a int-stacking Witch Hunter all league. I forget what it's called, but it's like, it's one of the keystone changers. It's called like Black Knight Covenant or something like that. It makes your int converted into evasion. So if you get a super high int with Hyri's Ire, you can get an insanely high evasion for source reward. So I was like, okay, if I was to do an int stacking Witch Hunter for source reward, what skills would I use for that? And I was like, well, probably Spark. So we will be playing some form of like lightning-based caster Witch Hunter that's doing Culling Strike, Decimating Strike, and Source Reward.
Let yourself be drawn into the mire.
So we were messing around with Hoa initially with the int stacking setup, but I'm worried about the defenses for it in the private league. And when I was messing with it with Hoa, it was like, oh, I should just do Whirling Assault with that, because Whirling Assault like would be great with it, because like you also get the AoE scaling from Hoa, but I didn't want to do necessarily another Whirling Assault build. I haven't played Spark since 0.1, so it's just like, and I think Spark's really good in the Temple. The Temple has those annoying rooms where there's like guys sitting around corners not engaging in the combat, and like Spark just seems really good for handling that. So just like, well, in stacking Witch Hunter, there's some projectile stuff around the Witch Hunter area, so we can at least semi-scale early game. You know, there's a few uniques I'm dependent on in late game. I want High Desire, and I need the Black Knight Covenant thing, or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. We'll give it a shot. Like, all you need is the gear to play Thorns. All you need is the gear to play Thorns. Just get the gear. Anything up here is like, all of this stuff is what's making AFK Simulacrum like more viable, right? This is just what's making AFK Simulacrum more viable. But if you didn't have any of these gems or these jewels in supporting or scavenge plating, you're fine for like the entire game and clearing Simulacrum 3 if you're attacking. But all I'm doing is like what's helping enable just this giga cheese setup. Like, and the amount of damage you're honestly gaining from Uhtred's Omen, Delia's Desire, and Scavenge Plating is so minuscule. It is so minuscule. Like, it is a few thousand thorns damage in the grand scheme. It's not needed. But for AFK Simulacrum, it helps because you want to be leeching a lot. So the more you're hitting for, you know, it's just better. But basically everything in this build is like, all of the stuff I have is for overkill to try and make AFK Simulacrum as viable as possible. And, like, who cares about AFK Simulacrum? You go faster when you're helping. So, like, AFK Simulacrum is like, it's a build for bots. Which some of us are bots. I can be a bot sometimes. But yeah. Most of what, like, Thorns is a very budget-friendly build. I almost feel like dumb putting this kind of stuff into it because, like, I don't want to mislead people in thinking it's an expensive build. It is so cheap to play Thorns. Like the bounty we put in for the Thorns stuff, it's going to be very easy for someone to do. I have no idea, Appen. Like, I'm kind of nervous, like, because I see a lot of people saying they want to play the supporting fire build, but I didn't play it in like a solo self-found league start environment, you know? I leveled with crazy strength stacking uniques, you know? I had Astramentus from level 24, you know? Like, and all the other, I had Titan Rot you can probably get early. I don't know if you can find the helmet early, maybe. I don't know what tier it is, but like, I don't know, Appen. I honestly don't know. I did not level it with a budget setup. I did not level it without, like, stat stacking. I'm sure you would have to supplement your damage with something else for bosses. You would need to be using grenades or minions or something else to help with boss damage. I don't know, though. Because I was also using, like, the support gems and stuff, you know? I was using, like, Bidding 2... And I don't know when you even get that in the campaign. Or biting, whatever it is. So yeah, I don't know, Appen. I really don't know. I know there's a lot of people who are wanting to play it for the private league, though. So there will at least be people crafting for it. Like, I'm sure you'll find in, like, selling gear for it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I do not know. Boss is probably gonna spawn over here. Oh, hey, that ring sold for 13 divine. You can league start Thorns on second win, yep. You can absolutely league start Thorns. Yep, and there's a Thorns bounty in the private league, Bavarius. We added it today. Guitarholic just posted it in the Discord. So, if you're the first person to kill Jamin Ra in Citadels with Thorns, you have to stand in his lightning coil attack and kill him with the lightning coil. You win a prize, so... Thorns is definitely league start viable, but I'll have a Shaman league start section of the Mobalytics done by tomorrow. I'm going to work on that tonight with the video guide. But you league starting Thorns is like different than what like this current setup in the Mobalytics is. To league start Thorns, like you don't really play Thorns until level 30. Like you really can't play Thorns until you have all the gear and you have the support gem. So you'd be playing something else until you're like in Act 3 basically. The supporting fire does scale with rage, Nabzor, but every test we did for rage scaling was not worth it compared to every other way we were scaling damage. Like, you were having to invest too much into rage scaling, and it was end up being, like, less DPS overall. So, like, yes, you can scale off of rage, but in all of our tests, it was, like, with the gear we were side-by-side comparing with, it wasn't, like, better. See, I'm getting too low on mana whenever, like, I want to kind of help, so I feel like I need to drop those two. Hey, what's up, Golas? Yeah, I don't know if supporting fire tactician is going to be great. Like, if you're trading and you're picking up constant, like, a high strength neck, a high strength gloves, like, maybe it'll be fine through the campaign, but, you know, the reason it was so good for me during the campaign was because I had, like, 600 strength, you know, by level 40 or something, right? Like, or 400 strength by level 40 or something, like... Yeah, we did a bunch of, like, Path of Building, like, it doesn't have a lot of, like, off-meta stuff tracked correctly. Man, we've gotten so many sufferings, but we haven't gotten any, isolations. I don't know, Appin. It's gonna, like... I wouldn't be surprised if, like, low tier or, like, high drop rate uniques, like a lot of those from the Stat Stacker build, are gonna be pretty common to get. Like, when you have a limited economy like this, yes, there's 9,000 people, so, like, we're technically getting less items. It makes every single unique you get more valuable in the long term. So, like, when someone gets Titan Rop as a drop, they're going to be wanting to sell it. They know there's going to be people wanting to use it in the campaign. So, like, I wouldn't think it'd be impossible to get good gear leveling it in the campaign. Like, people are going to be like, oh, people are playing this build, Titan Rod's good for it, I'll be able to get a few exalts for it, and a few exalts in this league is going to go a long way, so... I can't promise anything though, because it's my first private league. But all the private league vets, like Guitar Holic and stuff, they think it's gonna be like pretty cool. But if you're talking about like, you know, Uber boss dreeps, like tier 0, tier 1 uniques, those might be harder to get. But we'll see.
Sold it.
Warbringer Thorns still works. There's Warbringer Thorns and Titan Thorns are both still really good. So I had emptied this before we started, so everything in here is like, by the time, I'm not going to finish all of this today because I have to go to the podcast in 45 minutes, but by the time we finish all 50 runs, everything in here will be what we've accumulated from those 50 runs, so. But no, and tonight, by the way, DT, I'm going to go through all of my old Thorns builds, at least the Warbringer one, the Ritualist one, and the Titan one. And I'm going to update them for this patch. So anyone who's playing Thorns in the private league tomorrow will have at least some version of a Thorns build to follow. I haven't seen people using Corpse Weight in a while outside of like weird off-meta builds, so I'm assuming it's got nerfed, but I don't know. Oh, right, I wanted to change passives. It's just a little bit too much damage taken from mana to where I can't attack enough. Where do I want to put these 2 points? Could get more strength. Kind of want a path towards here, but we'd have to drop a... Yeah, let's get that. This is just a lot more armor. It's more strength, and it defends... It's extra armor versus crits, which, like, double dips with our chest piece. So, more strength for more life. Cool. We're slightly more tanky. Did I put a new one in? Is the life stacking Thorns node for Oracle any good? Not really. It's better than nothing. You probably take it when you're playing Thorns Oracle, but like, is it like comparable to the defenses you've gained as a Shaman Thorns? No. Not even close. Oracle's pretty low on the Thorns tier list in my opinion. Shaman and Titan are probably both at the top, with maybe Warbringer alongside them. I think people sleep on Warbringer too much. I think you can get insanely tanky on a Warbringer with the extra physical damage reduction. So as long as you're playing one of those 3, Titan, Warbringer, or Shaman, you're like playing the best Thorns Ascendancy possible. Smith is probably a tier beneath them, alongside Tactician. But maybe Tactician's a tier beneath Smith, I don't know. Smith's okay. It falls off in deep late game when you have really good gear. But Smith's okay. I mean, yeah, Titan's Titan. Titan is Titan. But, you know, Titan's good for Thorns because not just hulking form, but because of armor stacking. You use, most Thorns players use Brass Dome, so the body armor is huge. And then the increased maximum life is huge. You know, I'd have like 3,300 life as a, and like a lot more armor as a Titan right now. But I have more damage as a Shaman, so... And probably slightly tankier versus elemental, less tanky versus physical. He vomited balls out at me out of his belly mouth. This guy's nasty. Stop doing that, dude. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. He did it. He did it. He's the champ. Can I use Fallen for this build? You could, but you wouldn't want to. Fallen does not pair well with Thorns. But if you wanted to, give it a shot. Go for it. Well, you want rare shields as Thorns. I mean, just Fallen's just pointless for Thorns. You don't really care about block chance. Like, yeah, block's nice and all, but who cares if you block the hit or not? You can get tanky enough to where it doesn't matter. Rare shields just give you so much damage and so much defenses. And we don't really use... Like, what are you going to use cast on block for? Like... Cast on block has no value in a Thorns build. So just like there's no reason to use Fallen, you know. The only shield you would consider besides Fallen is like was it Threaded Light, the Spirit one? Not Threaded Light. I forget which one. There's a Spirit one that we used last patch with Thorn Skin stacking, which you probably wouldn't use anymore, and then like Chernobog, but rare shields are just better. Do you ever use Iron Ward anymore? I use Iron Ward when mapping, but it's not needed for AFK Simulacrum. But I use Iron Ward when mapping. Yeah, Iron Ward's great for mapping. It also, like, if you're actually doing Simulacrum, it's helpful, you know. You know, if you're not AFKing, you know, you open with Iron Ward and you get instantly full Scavenge Plating stacks, and then it's like constantly full, so you're just like constantly able to spam it, you know? It's not necessarily needed for the AFK version, obviously, but it's still very good. Ritual's good for Thorns? It's okay. I've played Ritualist Thorns before. Not the best, but it's alright. You just really like Thorns is about like Thorns is a build where you have to take damage to deal damage in a game with one-shots. So you have to be able to survive one-shots. So you're almost required to play a tanky Ascendancy. Period. If your Ascendancy doesn't make you insanely tanky, it's probably not a good pick for Thorns. Can you do it? Sure. But what are you playing the league start tomorrow? I'm gonna do a Culling Strike Witch Hunter. We'll play Witch Hunter. I leveled a character in solo self-found this morning to 41 as a practice run. And yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'll show the build before the podcast. I'll show it probably after the Simulacrum. Or at least it's like only at level 41, right? So it's just like in the campaign, but I'll just show you what I'm trying to do. We're going to do an int stacking Culling Strike Witch Hunter. Do you know what you're playing, Desder? Haven't decided yet. I've been wanting to do an int stacking Witch Hunter for a while. This is danger. We got no mana to we got reduced recovery here. We're fine. What are we worried about? We're fine. I don't have any chat commands for the private league, but it's pinned in the top of the Twitch chat. So if you look at the top of the Twitch chat, Night Codex, there's a post from Guitar Holic talking about it. And I'll get, like, chat commands and stuff for it by tomorrow. I'm a noob streamer. Do you work or you only play PoE? I work. PoE is, like, barely a hobby for me, you know? Well, not barely a hobby. It's definitely a hobby, but... no, I'm a game developer. I own my own indie game studio. That is my full-time job. Though PoE kind of is a full-time job with the podcast and stuff and all the builds I make. But no, it's not my career. Two more waves? Okay. Gotcha, yeah. That's what I try and do, is I'm just constantly trying new stuff. Like, that's why it took me so long to play Thorns again this league, is just I've tried, like, every Thorns variation, so... You know, I also get excited by trying new stuff. And an int-stacking Culling Strike Witch Hunter seems, like, very fun and new to me, so... I think it'll be fun. Try and get a Giga Sorcery Ward. Alright. I'm guessing Miso will be live in about 15 minutes. How do you deal with bleed? It doesn't really impact me. I don't know. I don't have bleed solved, but like, I have so much leech and tankiness that I'd like never die to bleed. If I needed to solve bleed, I would just add a bleed charm though and redesign my my spirit. But yeah, this is the character I'll be, like, trying to make work. This is obviously, he's only in the campaign still, but it's, we're going at int-stacking Culling Strike Witch Hunter. We're going to be trying to emulate what I did with Bulletstorm, but with Spark. For bossing, we're going to do Lightning Warp and Lightning, like, it's just going to be like a standard Lightning character, but we're doing it Culling Strike on a Witch Hunter. When we're going to try and use, there's a Keystone Changer that makes, there's a thing that changes your keystone that makes it to where your int stacking gives you evasion. So my plan is to like do like an int stacking High Resire high evasion spark lightning build that uses a sorcery ward for just a giga sorcery ward. Because one of the best ways you can get a really high sorcery ward is with int stacking evasion. I don't know how likely I can pull it off on the league, but yep, it's just calling strike. There's a standard Culling Strike, like not standard Culling Strike, but a standard, probably like Sparkish play style. I've got Arc and Spark for most of the mapping. When we get to late game, I think for these builds, they usually use Lightning Warp and Ball Lightning for bossing. And Lightning Warp. Any related required uniques? Not for leveling, no. In late game, with the style I'm wanting to do, int stacking evasion conversion, there are 2 uniques that are required for it. You need High Resire, which is normally an expensive unique. I have no idea how expensive and how likely it is to get in the private league, but it's one of the chase items I'll be chasing for. And then there's one of those keystone changes. It's not Amanamu, it's not Koragal. I forget which one it is, but it converts your bonus from mana to evasion rating. So it allows you to get a super high evasion rating, which allows that gets converted into sorcery ward. So my hope is to do like a sorcery ward, high sorcery ward EV build, but we're int stacking, so we have to use int skills. So Spark is for that. And as you can see here, mobs are, even without the Culling Strike helmet, they're getting cold at a pretty early, pretty quickly. With Spark and with Arc. So yeah. I wanted to test how it felt. Leveled this in solo self-found in this league. Fate of the Vol. I had not played solo self-found yet, so it had like no currency in gold. This is like just purely based off of what, like, it's just a solo self-found run. And yeah, it's going fine. It's going fine. Boss damage is not the best because, Spark box damage is weak, but, we're having to use a lot of spells to make up for it. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be league starting. A Witch Hunter that's doing Culling Strike, Spark, just instantly culling everything with Spark. And then on bosses, you just do standard Lightning Warp Cheese. And I want to get like a sorcery ward that's like over 10,000 if possible. Like I want to get one of the beefiest sorcery wards you can get. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be playing in the private league, like 99% sure. I've had this build concept on my mind for a week or two now. An int stacking sorcery ward. Shout out to, I don't remember which panda it was. Panda Hands, I think, is what showed me the Black Hand Covenant or whatever it's called. Let me show you what the thing is actually called. I soft tested it on this character. Do you think I could play Thorn Shaman in the private league? Yes. I have in the private league there are bounties. I don't know if you've seen the bounties, Tommy, but they're like challenges, and if you win them, you get money. I set up a Thorns bounty for the private league, so like not only like do I think it's possible, but like because there's a Thorns bounty, I assume people are going to be selling Thorns gear, so you should be like they're going to be more incentivized to sell Thorns gear. Once there's like an archetype that people are doing a challenge for, it's like anytime you get Thorns gear, you're going to want to try and sell it to people, right? So yeah, there's a bunch of bounties. My bounty that I made is be the first to kill a tier 16 Citadel Jamin-Ra by standing in his lightning coil attack in phase 2 with Thorns. So, the bounty is to kill Jamin-Ra with Thorns, an Uber Citadel version. In the Discord, there's a bounty section, active bounties. You have to join the Discord. If you look at the pins in the Twitch chat, the Discord link's one of them. But yes, I do think that Thorns will be playable for the league, especially now that there's a bounty. But sorry, the reason I knocked over my mic. I am so sorry, guys. That was probably loud. The reason why... Oh, do I not have it? I might not have it on right now. Damn. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's the line of Olroth, passives and raiders are conquered by Call Girl. So when you put this here, it changes. Nightly Tenants is the name of it. Sorry, Nightly Tenants. Gain no inherent bonus from intelligence, 1% increase evasion rating per 2 intelligence. So that's what I'm wanting to do on this character. Int stacking to convert to evasion rating, because sorcery ward scales off of evasion or armor. It allows you to play a caster build on a witch hunter while still benefiting from intelligence. Now the thing to solve is like the cost of the skills. Lightning skills, especially at a high level, are very costly. We might be forced to like get blood magic or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. It'll be an interesting build. Might be hard to pull off, but yeah.
With Nitra,
Miso is already... Oh, Miso just literally went live 20 seconds ago. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, guys. I'm going to be trying to do an int stacking caster Witch Hunter. Most people play Witch Hunter either as melee or as physical, like crossbow bows. So let's try something new and fun and see how it goes in the private league. Miso is live, guys, so I'm going to go over and host him for the podcast. We will have the podcast with Prada, Miso, Dead Rabbit, and myself starting in 20 minutes. So let's go hang out over there. Yeah, I will be streaming for the private league tomorrow. So I will be live tomorrow for that. I might be live later tonight, but I don't know because I need to finish the Shaman guide and I have work I need to do. So expect the full Shaman Thorns video out tomorrow morning. The Mobalytics is already done for it, but it will be updated for a league start stuff. But yeah, that'll be posted tomorrow. The guide will be done for the Shaman tomorrow for sure. Will there be a guide for the character I'm playing for the private league? I don't know. It depends on how it goes in the private league. But yeah, let me go ahead and raid Miso. Where's Miso X Shiraru? Alright, later guys. I will see you guys in 20 minutes on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out today, and yep. See you guys for the private league tomorrow. Let me post it in YouTube chat. Head over to the podcast in YouTube chat, guys. Thanks.